I just want to bump it over to Michael. So Michael, you're also a major player over there at Riverside, helping to build this brand new program. How did you come to us? I'm just so glad that you're there.
So when I found out that, and you know, I previously known of Riverside Community Care and how many people they helped when it came to behavioral health and how big of an organization they were. So when I found out that they were going to now be working with this population and helping those suffering from substance use disorder, I jumped to the opportunity. And then, you know, when I went in and found out about the services that they were going to be offering that we now offer, and knew that I would be able to help in the development of a new program like this, it was really intriguing to me, and I'm certainly glad I chose to become part of it.
Yeah. And how much of your story would you like to share? Because you've also been going through this.
Yes, I, like Carol, am in long-term recovery. I don't have a few decades yet, but
Well, it's because you're only 25, Michael.
right.
Don't push it,
So yes, you know, I've struggled with all substances in my life, and you know, I started at a young age, and it's where I grew up. It was just kind of thing to do with 12, 13, you know, drinking and smoking pot, and just everyone did it. And throughout high school, it escalated to some party drugs, and you know, it was like Carol mentioned, it was fun for a little bit. But in looking back, you know, I realize now that things that were on, you know, I was suffering from anxiety and depression and obsessive compulsive disorder, which is something I've been diagnosed with. And for me, it took those things away. You know, while my friends were doing it, party, have fun, that was kind of a solution for me to feel better. And my disease progressed when, you know, I went away to college, started partying a lot more, and then was somehow able to graduate college. But then when I came back to Boston, it was when the OxyContin had basically just hit Boston, had recently hit Boston. So, you know, I got caught up in OxyContin, and one thing led to another, and I became eventually an IV heroin user. And you know, things got bad. You know, there was a time where I had nowhere to go, where I was homeless. I had lost everything. And you know, something I don't share too often, but the last time I used, there was a night where I stopped by my parents' house, and I used in their house in my old room upstairs, and I overdosed. And my parents found me basically dead, and was taken into the hospital, brought home, begged my parents to stay there for the night, used again, and overdosed again. So it was twice within about 4 hours where my parents basically found me dead in their house. You know, I got brought back to the hospital, ended up being in the ER, in the hospital for 7 days. And, you know, it was there where I had a lot of time to think, and I was looking at the damage I was causing myself and the pain I was causing my family and my friends, and, you know, knew that I could not continue to live like that. So yeah, you know, I've been through a lot with this disease, and it's been a struggle, but you know, to be able to give back to those, and that's why, another reason why I do this, to be able to give back to those. You know, I know the pain, I know the hopelessness that a lot of people feel at times. So to be able to relate to that and help people who are in similar situations is a great thing.
Yes.
You know, Michael, I just want to thank you for sharing your story, and Carol, for you too. I hope our listening audience understands the courage it takes to do this, to share like this, and how it is absolutely imperative that we understand that addiction is not about morality, it is about mortality. It is the
Yes.
way the brain works. Imagine this, that the drug has taken such control of part of your brain that you can die, be revived, and yet use again.
Mhm.
Not it's
It's
not
wonderful.
something that has to do with morality.
Yes.
This is the
Yeah.
way the brain is. And
I
it
know.
is
And
so important for us to be able to help those people who are in the midst of this. And that's why Carol and Michael are here tonight to talk about Connect to Recovery and how we are doing this through Riverside Community Care. Because it's
it's just
powerful.
so, yeah.
It's powerful. And you know, one of my other phrases, and I think Carol and Michael are living up to it, is contribute to society to help with your sobriety.
That's right.
Contribute to society to help with your sobriety. Carol, what is it like for you when you are working with someone as a coach in recovery? What's that experience like for you?
That's a great question. And it's, it's, I mean, I tell all my clients, I explain to them that they're doing more for me than I'm doing for them. They don't understand it because they're new, and they'll go on and help other people too in their recovery. They're making me remember when, after several years, after, 20 years, you forget the trenches, so to speak, you know, and it brings it right back. The hopelessness, helplessness, despair, uh, depression, and a lot of them want to commit suicide, or just behave in ways that are suicidal, if you will, especially the kids driving and so forth. And when they bring you back there, you get sparked up. I mean, it's really my life's mission now. I can't imagine doing another job ever for me, because we started this program before COVID, and all of a sudden there was the COVID, and what are we going to do? How are we going to continue this even? And I, Kim, the fearless leader, yourself, Mike, the other people that we leaned on each other, um, Katie Wentworth, Rebecca Tobin, we stood fast and said, and we went shoulder to shoulder, there's a way. So when
Shoulder to shoulder, but 6 feet apart.
Oh yeah, I should rephrase that. We're
Right.
in each other's homes now. We
Right.
just virtual. Good point. And so I don't know. I think just like we said, we're not going to let it fail, and it turned out to be, that our program blossoms in the trenches faster than it would have otherwise. It's kind of like we're all in the same lifeboat in the Titanic,
Mm.
It's like if we would just switch seats in the Titanic, we're both going down. If we're both in the lifeboat together, you know what I mean? And
Mm.
so it helped me stay sober, and not just sober, but happy, joyous, and free, because recovery doesn't just promise dryness from these substances. It promises a life second to none, if you will. To go on and have families and reach goals and laugh again, where, you know, when I'm working with my clients, they say to me, I haven't laughed in, I don't know,
Mm.
at least, So with good humor and good direction, good orderly direction, I think it's a collaborative effort between me and the recovery, if you will.
Yeah. It's so wonderful, and it's inspiring, and I hope people can understand how important this is, especially right now during COVID. And that's one of the things that I really want to address, you know, uh, as we go through the show. But I just want to come back to one thing that Michael said, and I'm just going to just reframe for a minute, because I've heard a lot from folks. Look what I lost.
Mm,
Look what I lost. And I'd like to suggest that you didn't lose anything. You gave it away,
Mhm.
and you can take it back.
Yes.
You can take this back. Take
Mhm.
back your life. Take back your brain. Take back those relationships, because it is in your power. But
Mhm.
you don't do it alone. No one can do this alone.
Stretch the